Hi, hello. Welcome to the episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is September the 28th, 2023. Hopefully, this episode finds you well in good spirits and high hopes. As for me, I'm doing pretty good. I'd say, besides my bum foot, we've had a really great day. It's been awesome. But I will say I have been limping around from point A to point B and back again. So that's not been fun. Also, I hate when I have to curb my workouts. Like my workouts are like they've become something very sacred to me over the years. Like it is like the 15 minutes or so that I get to just sweat a little bit, say I did something, and it's like good, right? So it really does boil down to I normally don't take them off unless I have something to do that's just like too time crunchy. Like even if I'm sick, more times than not, I'm not so sick that I can't do it. And if I do like have to skip it, I'll just make it up. So being that I'm in this situation where I know I can more or less work out, like like literally everything from the ankle up on me is good to go, and I just cannot function on like the latter half of my workouts because they're like too intensive on me being on both of my feet. So it's a very annoying thing that I'm going through right now, and this is my place to vent about it. So here we are. But hopefully, I'll be better soon. Sometimes if it can take anywhere from like 3 days to like 2 weeks for my foot to kind of recover from these kind of things. But yeah, I mean, I really do hope that I don't know, maybe losing more weight will make this less of a thing. Because truly, it's not like I'm doing anything super intensive. You know what I mean? I'm just walking over here. But yeah, okay, enough about me. Sadly, I don't really have anything else for Food Corner, kind of playing for time in that regard. But, I figured you'd want to know how my toesies are doing, my little piggies. Yeah, no foods, no life updates other than that. Let me go ahead and take my startup, get used to the room, if you will, get acclimated, and then we will get into some news. All right. I'm going to try to do a little bit of a roundup too in the beginning, just kind of quick updates. Okay. Um, for starters, Jason Billingsley. He was the guy we covered the other day. He killed, or alleged to have killed. I guess I gotta say that, for legal reasons. Uh, Killed Pavel Lapierre. Um, they found him, and that's good. Let's see here. I think they found him like at a train station after a 2-day manhunt. And then also from ABC News, the husband of the owner of a New York City daycare where a 1-year-old boy died following fentanyl exposure has been arrested. Law enforcement sources say or told ABC. Felix Herrera Garcia was arrested in Mexico on a bus in Sinaloa after a manhunt lasted more than a week, sources said. So, I mean, he did some running, but they did catch him. So, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I don't know if you guys remember all of that and my thoughts on the matter. I do want to stress and reiterate, though, look, at the end of the day, these motherfuckers did a fucked up thing. That is crazy that you were saying, hey, this daycare would make a perfect fentanyl den, especially if you're not even gonna run it and just leave the fentanyl out on the fucking daycare floor. Like that's crazy. That's insane. So I'm glad these motherfuckers got. Let me just say that. All right, now to the news that I really wanted to cover. Now that we're caught up, from the Associated Press. Fire rips through Iraqi wedding hall, killing around 100 in shock to Christian community. Let's see here. So there was a wedding, and essentially, they were at a point where they were doing like the slow dance, and during this slow dance, there was a pyrotechnics setup that's supposed to have this like ring of fire, and it went off and it shot a fountain of sparks. So I mean, maybe I shouldn't say fire, but it shot sparks into the air. As the music played, ceiling panels above the machines burst into flames. So essentially, from there, the 250 guests panic. I mean, the scene is described as like, they're slow dancing, and then like literally there's fire just falling from the ceiling. So, I mean, of course, bedlam ensued, panic ensued. Around 250 panic guests in the Hatim Royal Wedding Hall in the predominantly Christian Hamdinina area stampeded for the exits as flaming decorations and pieces of ceiling rained down on them. Authorities on Wednesday said around 100 people were killed, with the death toll expected to rise with at least 100 injured, including many critically injured. Authorities said highly flammable building materials contributed to the disaster. The tragedy Tuesday night was the latest to hit Iraqi's Christian minority, which has dwindled to a fraction of its former size over the past decade in the face of militant attacks. So, yeah, my first thought was like, oh man, like, yeah, this is like really fucked up, but I don't understand, like kind of thinking with the pregnancy thing, like when they have the gender reveals or whatever, and it's like, why would you do this? Like, why would you add like this element? But then I think too, when you think about like minor pyrotechnics, like when I hear the word sparks and remember like, hey, this is supposed to be sparks, it probably was just like almost like a psh, and that's it. Like, you can have those in buildings, and more times than not, that goes off without a hitch. You know what I mean? It's not like everyone's James Hetfield or whatever from Metallica or fucking Michael Jackson, my hair. Like, that shit usually doesn't happen, and even then, you think, well, that's an isolated event. But, I'm thinking in the first half of my thoughts, like, well, they did this thing, that's kind of on them, it's user error, like, kind of end of story. But going into it, they really talk about like, well, there's a reason that we're really upset at the building here and, the owners, operators of this building, because at the end of the day, they had these ceiling tiles. Like, they were, I guess, this like cheaper material. I think they call it like a sandwich material or something like that. But, more or less they're saying like, look, like we're going to have an investigation on this and we're going to get to the bottom of it. But there's definitely a chance here that the building is a factor here because it wasn't maintained well enough. And I mean, that's something that when we talk about national disasters or whatever, that's something that I do feel like is a key thing to point out and mention. Sometimes it's a government issue. Sometimes it's just like the owner operators of the building. And maybe here we look at it and say that it's maybe a mix of the two. You know what I mean? It was really sad. There's a testimonial kind of from one of the survivors. Hold on, before I get there, let me read my little highlighted portion. One of the owners of the venue, Chani Soliman Nabu, blamed the fire on an electrical fault in the ceiling. Let's see. He insisted the venue had all the officials' approvals and that his brother and the hall supervisor would turn themselves in to the authorities. So, that's why I was like, oh, maybe this is a bit premature, but then I'm thinking, no, like, if things aren't up to code, if things aren't up to snuff, that's a problem. Let's see here. This was really talking. Experts say cheaper sandwich panels don't always meet stricter safety standards and are especially dangerous on buildings without any breaks to slow or halt a possible blaze. So I mean, those are relevant things to think about and ponder, but I did want to end on this quote. Yes. My son told me that if he gets married, he will never have an event like this, just a church ceremony. And, to that effect, I totally understand. Like, you can have these, like, lofty goals, and it's like, oh, man, like, this is so pretty. This is such a beautiful wedding. Oh, beautiful. It's such a beautiful wedding. But, like, at the end of the day, it's a shame that something like this, turns into something so tragic. Also, before we move on, I still don't know. They haven't like officially confirmed whether or not the bride and groom made it out. I only looked at a couple of articles, but I haven't heard any more details outside of that. Definitely, if you hear anything, let me know. And if I hear anything, I'll let you all know for sure. But let's go ahead and move on to the next beat. Excuse me. From Reuters. Student gunman kills 3 in Rotterdam University shooting. A gunman killed 3 people in the Dutch city of Rotterdam on Thursday, shooting a local woman and her daughter in their home, then storming into a classroom of Rotterdam's University Hospital and opening fire on a male teacher. The 32-year-old suspect, a university student, shot dead a 39-year-old woman who lived in his neighborhood and shot her 14-year-old daughter. The girl later died in the hospital. Yeah, when I initially heard this, it was just 2, and then by the next day, I was like, oh shit, 3. Okay, damn. After setting the woman's house on fire, the gunman went to the Rotterdam Medical Center University Hospital, where he entered a classroom and shot dead a 43-year-old teacher. The man was arrested near the hospital, where he also started a fire. His motive was unknown. I don't know about y'all, but for some reason, I always really want to know the motive. That always feels like a missing piece when you don't have it. Granted, I know, though, once I get that information, it doesn't undo or make anything make sense. But it is always frustrating when you don't know why these people just committed these fucking atrocities. They just woke up and chose to do this fucking shit. Also, just once again mentioning this is like a Dutch city, so it definitely is surprising, I think, and I think more so even to the people, and that this happens when like you do have good gun laws. You know what I mean? At least from what I'm suspecting, because usually, you know, when we're talking like the Netherlands, they have a pretty strict gun policy. You know, it just goes to show that this is something, sadly, that have gun will travel in that regard. But, you know, that being said, I still would rather like to see stricter gun laws across the board, even in my yee America. But, you know, hey, that's probably for another episode. I know I harp on that a lot. But, yeah, I mean, sadly, these things are, you know, these things happen, and it's a tragedy. You know, obviously my condolences go out to the family. You know, obviously in both these situations, I know all of these situations I've talked about. I can never say that enough, that it's like, look, I do stop and I have this, and this is something that is content to me, but it's something that's not lost on me, that these are living, breathing people, and sadly, I'm covering their lives and talking about their lives, and then they're not here, you know, in some of these cases, a lot of these stories. So that's very unfortunate. It's very sad. And maybe that's part of that reason where it's like, man, just like at least tell me fucking why you did it, bro. Like, please, like, fuck, like what the fuck is the reason, man? Okay. Not that we're really going into anything lighter, but there is no dead bodies for the rest of the episode, so we love to see that. Let's go to ESPN. Let's talk about some sports. We're doing sports ball. No, not really. Michigan State officially fires coach Mel Tucker for cause. And boy, what a cause it was. Michigan State University fired football coach Mel Tucker for cause Wednesday, formally completing a process that was initiated last week, which is when I initially heard the story. Kind of got bogged down. I know it's a bit old news, but I'm kind of glad I waited because, you know, this firing is adding another layer to it, which is an important layer to talk about. Tucker is under university investigation for sexual misconduct, for a sexual misconduct complaint brought by Brenda Tracy, a sexual assault awareness speaker. In a statement, the university said it had terminated Tucker's contract for his admitted and undisputed behaviors, which have brought public disrespect, contempt, and ridicule upon the university, and constitute a material breach of his agreement and moral turpitude. I'm not gonna lie. You know what? I don't know what turpitude means. I want to know what that means. Turpitude. What does that mean? Let's find out together. My internet works with me. Turpitude, depravity, wickedness. Yeah, okay, that's fair. That fits. I kind of want to just go straight to it. Granted, this is important to talk about. He had a $79 million contract, and it seemed like he was kind of going along with the bit until his termination happened, and now he's squirming because essentially they're trying to fire him for cause, which negates the rest of his payment on that $79 million. So naturally, he's like, oh shit, what about my fucking rights? But it's weird because in the process of making his defense, he's already admitting that he did the shit that he's alleged to have done. Which, I've been kind of holding off. Let's go ahead and get into that. In her complaint, Tracy claims Tucker masturbated without her consent during a phone call in April of 2022. Tucker denies that the encounter wasn't consensual and added that the investigator acknowledged a personal relationship between them. Okay. Now, I gotta say, I missed the wave when Louis C.K. got. Because I wasn't podcasting then. I was just a civilian living a normal life. And boy, oh boy, my world rocked when I found out what the fucking allegations were that fucking leveled this man. And it's like, dude, what the fuck is your problem? Like, why are you doing this? Why are you this way? Like, literally just having a phone call conversation with a comedian or whatever, a peer, and you're just fucking beating your fucking meat, dog? Like, what are you doing? Chill the fuck out. Relax. Do that shit off the phone call. Like, if you have these fucking dark urges and thoughts in this situation, you can just do that without a party member and just be okay here legally. In this situation, my guy was like, no, I gotta do it. I gotta fucking do it. And apparently, Mel Tucker is a kindred spirit. He was like, I gotta do this shit. Now, he's saying that this was a part of their relationship and that it was consensual. And it's like, brother, this is just so fucking messy. I guess I gotta say alleged until everything gets inked out or what have you. But like, not a good look, brother. Not a good look. You could have just not done it. And in the process of doing this, you are implicating yourself. And I feel like this kind of gives the university credence here, where it's like, no, I mean, this is clearly bad behavior. You did not do good judgment, and we don't want you and nor need you. But let me end up on this point. Tucker's career at Michigan State officially concludes with a 20-14 record, which includes an 11-2 campaign in 2021 that ended with a Peach Bowl victory. Now, I have to ask any of the potential footballers out there, American footballers, is that a good record, 20-14? Because that to me seems shitty, but I would maintain, well, maybe not shitty. It seems like maybe it's okay, maybe baseline. But like, I can understand that it's like because of the fact that he had such a good run with the 11-2 season, especially it ending in a bowl win. That's a big deal. So that's like really good credit, right? Let's see, the Spartans, which is the university, Michigan Spartans, the Spartans reached as high as number 5 in the nation that year, which okay, I get that. And the MSU brass rewarded Tucker with a 10-year, $95 million contract that made him among the highest paid coaches in the sport. Whew. Big money to fuck up because you had to touch yourself on the fucking call, bro. That's fucked up, man. That's really all I had to add there. Kind of didn't want to cover it just because, one, I don't cover sports much. Two, y'all know, like, as a man, I hate speaking on this kind of shit because I feel like it's not my place and I never do it well or right. But at the same time, like, it's relevant. It's always relevant. And I never don't want to talk about these things. I never want to feel like I'm, like, sweeping it under the rug. So, like, I don't know. Him being fired just was like, hey, this is a good reminder. Let's just go ahead and make it happen. So, here we are covering it. All right, we got one more thing to cover before I let you go. So you know what that means. I'm going to take my little break, and then we will wrap it up with the wrap. That is the name of the publication. I wish that was a segment. I wish I had that as a segment. That would be so cool, big-brained. That's not me, though. This is a small brain podcast. Ooh, yeah. Okay. Whew. Okay. Watch Pink boot concert goer from second row after he holds up anti-circumcision message. Get that shit out of here. Video. So, let's just touch on this. Let's talk on it. Let's not cut it out, okay? Actually, maybe you should cut out this kind of behavior. Let's say that. Especially for Pink. Stop making Pink stressed out. Like impossible difficulty apparently. In the latest news of disruptive concert goers, Pink calmly asked for the removal of a crowd member at her San Antonio concert on Monday after he was screaming at her while holding up a sign on his phone that read, "Circumcision, cruel and harmful." Oh gosh, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm giving you two dick stories today. I couldn't help myself. I had to double down on the dick. While in a transition between songs, the So What performer squinted to look at the man's phone while she sat next to her guitarist. What does that say? She asked in the clip from Pop Crave Above. I don't know, Pop Crave. That's a whole other thing I could talk about. Oh, you're making a whole point right now, aren't you? Do you feel good about yourself? The crowd cheered and laughed as the singer calmly addressed the routed concert goer. You spent all this money to come here and do that. Come on, dude. I could buy a Birkin bag with that type of money. Get that shit out of here. Which is fucking true. Like, I didn't think about this, but like, you not only went to a Pink show, which is like, it's probably not cheap. Like, that's probably like a high standard rate. You know what I mean? Like, you got to do these fucking studios to watch her do the fucking rope stuff and all that, and just, you know, play So What, which is a banger ass song. Man, I don't. Is that my favorite Pink song? No. What's the? I can't even think of it right now. But it's one I used to skate to. It's escaping me. I might come up and bring it up in the little bio, but whatever. Pink, we love you. We stand. But I can't imagine going out of your way to see Pink or any big artist that you love or care about just to make this scene about your fucking foreskin. Which is crazy because I have seen movements about this, like men just like upset and like wanting to reclaim their foreskin, even going as far as like getting like reconstructive surgery to like get it fucking back. And how they're like mad at their parents for like taking the right away from them. It's crazy shit if you ask me. Look, if you're cut or you're uncut, I don't care. That's fine. Do you. Like, there are pros and cons to all of it. You know, like, live your life. Don't be mad. Love yourself. Truly, it's all good. And if you have a strong opinion about it, that's fine. But like, don't take it to the fucking Pink concert. Don't try to ruin everyone else's night. That's insane. But yeah, I mean, needless to say, he tries to like do the PSA from his phone on the floor, like spinning around, like saying, look at this, look at this. Like, no, dude, no one wants to see your dick essay about why you need to keep the meat. Like, come on, dude, like, chill. Just not here, not right now. Do this on your local Reddit forum. I don't. It's insane to me. Man. So let's see here. They call him a loser. The whole, you know, like, and that's gotta suck, right? Oh man, the whole crowd's just booing you, bro. Like, ugh. And then he gets kicked out. But yeah, I really wanted to preference this too with this isn't the only time that she's been like harassed like mid show. And I do call this harassment, especially like let's see. There was a fan that threw their mother's ashes onto the stage as Pink sang "Just Like a Pill," which is like, dude, what the fuck? Like, what? Like, and I understand that's your mom, and this is important, and I'm sure you both like loved Pink, but I'm not taking my dad's ashes to a Rolling Stone show and like in between the set, like, yo, Mick, my dad loved you, bro. Like, he needed to, like, be with you, so here you go. Here are his ashes. I would never. I would commit seppuku on the beat before I did that. Just for the record. I'm sorry. Man, I'm plagued, and I know this is, like, you know, error, but I gotta figure out that song. I'm so sorry. Bear with me, y'all. It's an old banger. Ooh, I think Google's gonna got me. Also, happy birthday. Oh, yeah, don't let me get me. Ooh, don't wanna be my friend no more. I wanna be somebody else. That song went so hard. That was a song that I would skate to. Like, ooh, I wanted to cry to, but I wasn't ready yet because boys don't cry. You know, later I would learn. But like, ooh, what a banger. We love you, Pink. And like I said, let Pink live. Just let her fucking perform, bro. Just let her fucking have a good time. You have a good time. Don't bring up your dick. Don't be weird. Impossible difficulty. Okay. All right, we made it. I'm sorry. Thank you for bearing with me. It's been such a fun episode though. I like this. I like what I do. I really do. I know the format's loosey goosey. I know there's a lot of ands and ums and coughs and burps and like maybe you've heard me fart before. I don't know, but like I love this. I love doing this shit. Like trust me, I practically do it for free. But I truly love you guys and gals, MVs, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning into this. Let's see here. I have to wrap it up with some shilling. Have to like take my hat off, you know. Patreon.com/Isaiah News if you'd like to support the effort financially. You do become a newsie. I dub thee, and once a month I shout you out. I say your name on the podcast. You know, simple $5 a month. You know what I mean? A patronage, if you will. But free ways to contact me, IsaiahNews1@gmail.com. And then I'm on. I just let it rip. Sorry. I'm on all the socials. You can find me there, everywhere. I'm like Lucy, you know, when she goes digital. I know, spoilers, oopsie, but you probably already saw it or you weren't gonna see it. Yeah, find me there. Subscribe to the YouTube, thumbs up. Let's see, comments, those are great. Reviews, 5 stars, max them out, whatever they are. Subscribe on your local listening device apparatus. So yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for being a friend, and hopefully I see you soon for some more good news. I love ya. Bye-bye. Mwah.